Hey guys, Flaming Shark back with another video today, giving you guys another blind commentary, blind reaction to RWBY, Chapter 3, Volume 6. Don't know why I decided to say it in that order, but it is Volume 6, Chapter 3, The Lost Fable. This is, so right away I'm going to tell you guys, Chapter 4 is going to be late. I'm recording this on the Monday after the episode came out, so 2 days after the episode came out, which is usually when I record RWBY. Because I'm usually not able to record on the weekends. You guys will be getting the video, of course, on the Saturday along with everyone else. That very day, that Saturday, I'll be leaving for a trip. I'll be gone from that Saturday until probably late Sunday night the following Sunday for like 8 days. So I have a trip, it's kind of like a combo trip. Got some wrestling involved, got some Thanksgiving potatoes with some family, lots of different stuff, kind of all jumbled into one trip. Try to catch a hockey game, all kinds of different stuff that I'm gonna do over the course of that 8 days. But basically, get all my stuff into one trip. Should be really fun, really cool, and I'm really excited for that. But I'm going to be pre-recording a lot of videos. By a lot, I mean like you probably get videos like every other day or whatever while I'm gone. But I'll be pre-recording videos this week for that. Hopefully I'll have like at least enough videos to, have like a video every other day or, a couple videos over that week at least while I'm gone. But one video I can't have ready is I can't have Volume 6, Chapter 4 of RWBY ready. Again, assuming we get a Chapter 4, it could also be a World of Remnant, but assuming we get the fourth chapter of RWBY, then it'll be late. If it's a World of Remnant, whatever. What I plan to do is like that following Monday or Tuesday after I'm back, I'll record my reactions to Chapter 4. Assuming we're not getting any World of Remnants, my reactions to Chapter 4 and 5 of RWBY Volume 6. And I will probably make those a single video that you guys will get on the day that everyone releases their reactions to Chapter 5. You guys will get my collective reaction to Chapters 4 and 5, and then at that point we'll be caught up. But I will be late to Chapter 4. So that's just something that you guys are going to have to deal with, unfortunately, because I can't pre-record something that isn't out until I'm leaving. So, if I get a chance to record it at some point, I have had in the past, I've recorded from Kansas before and weird stuff like that. If I get a chance to record in LA or something at some point on my trip, then maybe you guys will get Chapter 4 on that next Saturday at like 7 days from this video. But in all likelihood, I will be late to Chapter 4. I'll just tell you guys that right now. Anyways, this episode, I'm so glad that this episode is called The Lost Fable because I was so worried that Chapter 3 would not get straight into the story that was teased at the end of Volume 2 regarding Salem and the past, the girl in the tower story, or what appears to be the girl in the tower story that Pyrrha mentioned in Fall. I'm really excited for this, and it's going to be amazing, and it's 26 fucking minutes, which is insanity because, you take out the outro, 30, a minute or so between the credits and the actual outro, another minute and a half for the intro. We're still talking a 24 minutes of actual content, actual episode, which is nuts, and I'm so excited to see it. So, I do want to say that this episode is going to shatter theories, confirm theory. This episode is going to be monumental for RWBY lore, and it's just going to be insane, and I cannot wait for it. I hope I like it. I'm sure I will. I don't care too much about what the lore is. I'm more interested in just finding it out and then working from there. So we're going to get a lot of lore. It's going to be tell at least partially Salem's story. And it's genuinely going to tell us what Ozpin is hiding from us, which should be really interesting. This entire episode might literally be a 24-minute World of Remnant that is going to tell us tons of incredible story shit, which could make it one of the best episodes of RWBY. I've not seen anything about the episode. I know I saw one person who, is a RWBY hater basically saying this episode was a fucking mess. And I saw another person who is relatively critical about RWBY that said that this episode was phenomenal. But I haven't seen anything about the actual episode, so we're all good. And I don't know. I mean, I know we're going to get Salem stuff. I know we're going to get Oz stuff. There's a lot of potential here for Salem and Oz to be lovers, siblings, master apprentice, which that last one being an interesting angle. I know Semlet's Sanity actually got into that a little bit at the end of their reaction to Chapter 2. Shoutouts to them. One of, if not my favorite RWBY reactors, and just really cool anime reactors in general. Most of the stuff they've reacted to, I can't watch because I haven't seen, so rip. But they're really cool guys, and they got into a great theory discussion after this episode, as they do after most episodes. But I felt probably their most interesting one I can remember after Chapter 2, and they did discuss the possibility that Salem was Oz's apprentice in some manner, and that makes a lot of sense, and that would be something really cool. There's a lot of ways this could go, but whatever the case may be, I'm super interested to see how this story goes, and yeah, this is going to be insane, and this is going to be unreal, and this is going to kind of mold our thought. This is going to change how we view this entire series. So, high expectations. I'm not afraid that they're going to not be met. I know this episode will be earth-shattering, or rather, remnant moon-shattering. I was going to say remnant shattering, and then I realized moon-shattering is way funnier and more of a RWBY reference. But this is going to be a moon-shattering episode, and I don't mean that literally. I don't think we're going to get that answer here or for a long time, but all the same, it is in the interest. You never know. But this episode is just going to change everything in terms of our understanding, as well as some of the main characters. RWBY, Weiss, Blake, Yang, Crow, Oscar, all of them are getting the story for the first time. And Maria. Maria is also getting this story. So it's a lot of people that will be seeing this for the first time. I assume Maria's seeing this, even though we only saw RWBY, Weiss, Blake, Yang, and Crow in here. I also assume Oscar's seeing it. So I assume everyone there is getting the story from Jin. Since originally I thought only RWBY was getting the story, but then they started showing Weiss, Blake, Yang, and Crow. It's like, okay, fair enough. Anyways, let's jump into it. I'm so hyped for this. RWBY Volume 6, Chapter 3, The Lost Fable, in 3, 2, 1, and play. This should be an insane episode. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this camera. There's like this weird, I think little lag. The longer the video goes, the more it kind of cuts into this little lag between my audio coming out of my mouth and the actual movement of my mouth. It's very small. It's not enough to really fuck up the video, but there's nothing I could do about it in editing. So it's something that I'd like to probably address. I might use separate audio from my camera in videos soon, or invest in a more potato camera, since I have been wanting to get a much better camera. Yeah, the fact that she has the relic is something. I don't know how I didn't notice that at first. Nope, we're still hiding Cinder's face. I thought we might actually unhide Cinder's face now that we've revealed that she is the hooded figure. That would have been pretty cool if they did that. And then, yeah, you see Salem Rage and then the blue smoke, which represents Jin's story, and it goes straight to Salem. But she's looking up at what a guy who appears to be Oz. Now, that's a different Kane, but the Kane in general is just something that he can't abandon. So she's definitely looking up to a past life of Oz, which does not imply that they were... which implies to me that they definitely were either brothers, lovers, or possibly master-apprentice, but or something. But they definitely had a very potato relationship. I love that face on RWBY. Lots of things to talk about. Anyways, let's jump into this episode. Straight to the story, right? Yep. Okay.
Locked away by her cruel father,
Salem was a girl who desired but one thing.
Freedom.
Freedom.
That was predictable. This music.
She lived in a time when kings and their kingdoms were plentiful, when men and women were capable of greatness, and magic was a gift from the gods that all could wield.
Oh, Jesus!
And yet there she sat within her tower. Until one day, a legendary hero came to brave the challenges within the tower's walls.
One of Ozpin's past
the people
lives.
of the lands knew him as Ozma.
Ozma. Yeah,
Unlike
that's one of
those
his
who had
lives.
come before, this warrior was not driven by the prize of the young maiden's hand.
Yep.
He fought only for righteousness.
Makes sense.
His pure heart
He was a cool
and
guy.
courageous soul prevailed.
Yep. That's really cool. It's literally a fairy tale. Yep. And she fell in love with him.
Escaped the
Bro!
wretched fortress. And
What
yet,
the fuck?
something bound them together.
Yep.
Ozma had been ready to give his life for justice countless times, but now saw a woman worth saving it for.
Wow.
And Salem, to her surprise, found her freedom not in the outside world she had yearned for,
But in
in
him.
the eyes of the man that had saved her.
Wow, they're actually going the lover
Where
route.
should we go now?
Wherever you'd like.
The two fell deeply in love.
Ozma sounds
planned
like fucking
adventures around the world,
Oscar more
and
than
lived
Oscar.
happily ever after.
What? That's the girl in the
Or
tower?
at least, that's what should have been.
Oh.
Ozma, the infallible hero of legend, fell ill. And where all of the beasts and blades of the world had fallen short, a single sickness prevailed.
So Ozma died. What the? That's a little bit of a
The
surprise.
gods let this happen.
The gods, brothers of light and
Darkness.
creation and destruction.
Yep.
Salem prayed they would see the injustice that had befallen her love and make things right. The domain of light was a sacred place.
Whoa. Okay, for a second I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
It was here the elder brother dwelled beside his fountain of life and creation.
Huh.
It was here where mankind
Was...
would fall to ruin.
Oh! Baltaru... Oh, this is Salem's place, right? So this is Salem's... I assume this is where Salem's, like, location is, her base of sorts. Is this... Are we literally seeing the God of Light? Are you shitting me? He's got massive antlers like a faunus. That's pretty sick. Jesus. It's almost like...
Please bring him back to me.
I understand your pain, but you
It's the
demand
same
of me
voice.
that which I cannot make so.
That's your brother.
Life and death are part of a delicate balance.
Yep.
So, you won't do it then?
To disrupt the cycle of...
That's not fair. That's not fair!
Whoa.
Let him rest.
Whoa. Alright. Holy shit. Let him rest.
No.
She went to the God of Darkness!
The god of darkness.
Jesus!
None
Or
dared to
maybe
enter
this is
his
the
home,
Salem's
as
domain.
men knew what monstrosities emerged from his blackened pools
Yeah.
of annihilation.
Yep, the Grim, yep. We've seen that, literally
And so
seen
you
those
must
black
understand
pools
the
of
Dark
annihilation.
Lord's surprise when he found a lone woman kneeling before him.
Oh my god. And there's our God of... What the fuck? Hello, God of Darkness. Hello, Grim. Oh, that is sick.
Salem understood it well. She told him of her loss, and professed that she knew only he could answer her prayers, all while careful to make no mention of his elder.
Rise, child,
Oh.
and let your faith in me be rewarded.
Whoa. This is really weird. So this is... Whoa! Just like that? And that's where the curse began. He was cursed to
Where
live...
am I? What is this? Where am I?
Okay. Everything's going to be okay.
And there's the God of Light.
What have you done?
I have done what I please, brother. You may bask in the powers of creation, but you do not own them.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is not creation.
Even though they're
Do
creation
not
destruction,
lecture me.
they both have creation and destruction abilities as well.
I will do what I must to maintain order.
Jesus!
No! No! What did you do? Bring him back!
You dare enter my domain and show such disrespect!
Oh, Oh,
I am abiding by the
fuck is
rules we
this?
agreed upon.
Rules that I now see work ever in your favor. And yet the day a mortal comes to pray at my feet before your own, so do you rise to lay your judgment upon me.
Yo, that's pretty sick. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Yeah. Yo, what the fuck is this?
I know we have our differences.
Hello, dude from Dragon Ball.
To control you. The same, however, cannot be said for her. This woman came to you only after I denied her pleas. Pleas that would have disrupted the balance that you and I created.
Damn, savage. That is true.
Then it seems I owe you an apology. Allow me to correct my mistake.
Whoa.
You monsters! Give him back to me! Give him back!
She's that strong, or... Jesus, the God of Light just ate him? What the fuck? What the fuck is... She fell in the pool. She's gonna die? What the...
When you first came to me, I did pity you. But it is clear now that your selfishness and arrogance have led you astray.
What did you do to me?
I have made you immortal.
What?
Immortal?
You cannot die. You cannot be with your beloved.
So long as this world turns, you shall walk its face.
Holy
You
shit!
must learn the importance of life and death.
They agreed.
Only then may you rest.
Whoa!
Salem was a prisoner once again.
Well, that
Her
is
fruitless
fucked
attempts
up.
to reunite with Ozma eventually became nothing more than acts of spite and defiance against the gods.
Jesus! Jesus! That's the darkest thing I think I've seen in RWBY!
But perhaps the gods were not as powerful as they seemed. She had lied to them, turned them against one another. They were fallible.
Yep.
If she were to turn humanity against light and darkness, she could rid herself of their curse. Or at the very least,
Of them.
she could make them suffer.
Okay.
Salem traveled from one kingdom to another, telling tales of how she stole immortality from the gods, welcomed any swordsman to cut her down, and demonstrated her powers.
Wow.
With the kings and queens in awe, she pulled them deeper into her scheme. She painted them pictures of a time when they would no longer have to watch their loved ones wither and die.
Jesus.
When they could claim the powers of their creators for themselves, and in turn perfect their own design. All they needed to do was destroy their old masters. The gods had hoped
makes
that
sense.
Salem would learn from her eternal curse,
But the opposite.
and she did. She learned that the hearts of men are easily swayed.
That is true! That's no joke. They're
Who
both...
has led you down this path?
Yeah. Hi, Salem! Oh my. Yep. Yep, and they all have magic because the universe... So at some point the gods literally take magic from them?
My own gift to them, used against me.
Whoa. So the gods are... So the relics haven't been created. Jesus! Jesus! What the fuck? I love how this isn't even animated. They're just like, fuck it. Did you just kill everyone? But her?
No.
What the fuck?
You thought there was no greater punishment we could bestow upon you?
I'll come back. I'll tell the rest of the world of this massacre. Build a new army.
You do not understand. There is no one left.
He just killed everyone!
You are all that remains of humanity.
This planet was a beautiful experiment. but it is merely a remnant of what it once was.
A remnant.
We will learn from this failure. I hope that you will learn from yours.
I wonder if it was called Earth
No.
before that.
You can't leave! You can't leave! Come back!
Still demanding things of your creators.
The moon, what the fuck? It was literally them leaving. What? Are you kidding me? They actually showed it.
Once again, Salem was alone.
I'm blown away. It's
She
just,
cursed the gods. She cursed the universe. She cursed everything. Everything but herself. She wandered the face of the planet, awaiting a death that would never come. Until fate led her back to the land of darkness. This was it. This had to be it. The Brothers Grimm, the pools of black that continued to give rise to horrific nightmares.
Brothers Grimm.
If the Fountain of Life granted her immortality,
Then the Fountain
then
of
surely
Darkness.
the pools of Grimm would finally take it away.
Not
She was wrong.
quite.
This force of pure destruction could not destroy a being of infinite life. Instead, it created a being of infinite life with a desire for pure destruction. And
Whoa.
in time, she would find her adversary.
So he found a way to live, eh? Yep. Are we gonna see him transition from one life to the next? No, he's...
Ozma,
Yep.
Where am I?
We are between realms. I'm afraid a tragedy has befallen your home at the hands of my brother. We have chosen to depart this world,
I guess that's
but
technically
in
true.
our absence, I would like to offer you the chance to return to it.
I don't understand.
Mankind is no more, yet your world remains. And in time, your kind will grow to walk its face once again. However, without our presence, they will be but a fraction of what they once were.
No magic.
Creation,
Except for Ozma.
destruction, choice, and knowledge
The
are the
relics.
ideals upon which humanity was made. Now,
Crown.
I leave them behind
King of
with the
Vale's
hope
crown.
that you may learn to remake yourselves.
A sword.
If brought together, these four relics will summon my brother and I back to your world,
What?
and humanity will be judged.
What?
If your kind has learned to live in harmony with one another and set aside their differences, then we shall once again live among you, and humanity will be made whole again.
What? So they'll have
But if
magic
your
and
kind is
shit.
unchanged, if you demand our blessings while still fighting amongst yourselves,
Then they'll kill them all.
then man will be found irredeemable, and your world will be wiped from existence. Until
Jesus!
your task is complete, you will reincarnate, but in a manner that ensures you are never alone.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, but that world just isn't as dear to me without her. If I may, I'd rather return to the afterlife to see Salem.
You will not find her
In the
there.
Afterlife.
You mean she isn't gone?
Salem lives, but the woman you hold dear in your memories is gone.
Oh.
Heed this warning. Where you seek comfort, you will only find pain. So,
Wow.
will you...
I'll do it.
This is not how I thought this would go. I
Very
thought they
well.
would try to spin this in a way where
Our
they'd make
creation
Salem
rests within your
evil,
hands.
but also not. And they do the same thing with Ozpin.
And so,
That's not what this
Ozma
is.
was
But
reborn.
I'm sorry I'm not talking. This is... Yeah. I'm sorry I've barely said anything. This is just insane. This is absolute insanity.
Where am I?
We still got a lot of time left! Oh my god. There's no way we'll get into shit like Stark, but we're gonna get some good shit. Yep, he can fight, yep. Kill Cement Grip. Thanks, bro.
Thank you. Please, tell me your name. Who are you?
He didn't know.
Ozma had found himself in a world completely unfamiliar to him. Cities looked different. Creatures known as the Faunus bore fangs and claws and were locked away in cages.
It was just humans
and without
before.
the blessing of the gods, no one could perform magic like mankind was once capable of.
Yeah, dust though.
No one but himself and a woman known as the Witch.
The Witch.
During his years of travel, he heard the same frightened whispers that spoke of a terrifying sorceress who commanded dark powers in the wilds among the beasts and monsters.
Oh my god.
Ozma was convinced
Is that the
this
same
witch
house?
was Salem.
The house that he
and
eventually
decided
lives
he needed
at?
to see what
The
she
wizard?
had become.
Oh my god. She can tell.
Call it magic or call it something stronger. But in that moment,
They
the
knew.
two knew exactly who it was that stood before them.
What do we do now?
Whatever we like.
Whoa.
As Salem and Ozma recounted the events which had brought them back together, each withheld parts of their story. Salem, fearing Ozma would reject her, blamed the end of the world on the gods. Ozma, still unsure of where the truth lay, kept his task and the relics
Fucking
a
lies.
secret.
Fucking liars.
Though time passed and
This
all
is what
seemed
always
well,
happens.
Ozma's conversation with the God of Light still lingered in his mind. He had found happiness, but humanity seemed more divided than ever before.
Yeah.
Are you surprised? This world is quite literally godless. These humans have no one to guide them. Perhaps that's all they need.
What are you saying?
She's suggesting they become the god and
We
goddess.
could become the gods of this world.
Oh.
Our powers surpass all others. Our souls transcend death.
You can be the god of light,
We
I can be the
mold
god of
these
darkness,
lands
yeah.
into whatever we want. What you want. Create the paradise that the old gods could not.
The hearts of
I'm-
men are easily swayed.
Fucking Salem, man! Fucking Salem, man! Also, the fucking moon looks amazing. It's almost like the moon is slowly coming back together compared to how it looked like it. Jesus! Jesus! Oh my god! Holy, oh my god, it's literally, they actually did that shit. The statues. Ozma and Salem.
The two amassed a following. That following grew into a prosperous kingdom. And at the head of that kingdom blossomed a family.
Oh my god, it fucking... Oh my god, and Jean is an ancestor of their family. Yep, Jean is most definitely an ancestor of their family. I'm surprised that Salem could still have kids, but okay. Yeah, and then she had a crystal ball.
Are we sure this is right?
You said we needed to bring humanity together. In order to do that, we have to spread our word and destroy those who will deny it.
That's one way of doing it. It's certainly something that's been... And there's the Ozpin Oscar thing. That's crazy. It's the Ozma thing, but...
This isn't what he asked of me.
What did you say?
Mother! Father! Look!
Well,
It was a miracle. Their children could perform magic. But what should have been a joyous occasion was short-lived.
huh. Did they die?
Ozma told Salem everything. The true reason the God of Light had brought him back. The relics that lay scattered around the world. And the day of judgment he had been told to prepare for.
Don't you see? None of that matters anymore. Why spend our lives trying to redeem these humans when we can replace them with what they could never be?
Whoa. Oh, shit. And that's where the divide started. You took the kids.
Mommy?
Oh. Oh! You don't take the kids. You don't take the fucking kids. You don't take the kids. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? That was like some fucking Voldemort and fucking the green and the red. So fucking Harry Potter. Jesus Christ! Fucking Matt Jesus! The gods, quote unquote, are battling. Oh Lord. God, the stylization of this. One of them survives. I bet you one of them survived. Jesus! He died, didn't he? He can die, she can.
We finally have freedom.
Didn't let her say
Thus
another word.
began a long and painful cycle of death and rebirth for Ozma.
Oh, how many
Some
fucking
lives were spent in mourning. Many were
drinking.
spent attempting to forget it all. But no matter what, his mind would eventually turn back to the task he had been burdened with. And as the centuries went on, Ozma began to learn the importance of living with the souls with which he had been paired. But no matter where or how he lived, her presence was always felt.
Yep.
If humanity were ever to stand a chance of being united, one thing was clear.
Yep. He had to
He
defeat
had to
her.
destroy Salem.
Jesus.
Knowing he could never rid the world of her through any mortal means, Ozma sought out the power of the relics. Armed with my knowledge, he believed he could fulfill his promise to the God of Light.
Where are the other relics?
He asked me his questions.
What powers do they possess?
And though I gave him my answers,
How do I destroy Salem?
Yep.
not all of them were to his liking. You can't.
Oh, you can't. That's insane. Well, I guess you gotta get through to her. Wow. Just straight up, you can't. Whoa. Are you... Oh, whoa. These credits are even... That shot. I'm at a loss for words. This episode was my favorite episode of RWBY. This was... I mean, I wasn't joking when I said this episode would change everything. Look at fucking Salem. Yeah, let's just watch I think this is the 15th anniversary. The Rooster Teeth animation, I think that's what, yeah, I estimate 2003, yep. 15 friggin' years, I have seen this, yep. Oh my god. I'm gonna cut, just to reset my camera, because I don't know if I'm gonna talk for a few minutes or a million. Hey, guys, it's not even the same day. In fact, it's several days later. I haven't bothered recording this until Thursday afternoon. But I've had some time to digest it, watch the episode a couple more times, watch a few people talk about the episode, and I can say that in my personal opinion, Volume 6, Chapter 3 of RWBY, The Lost Fable, was the greatest episode of RWBY to date. I think it was better than what I think were kind of... they kind of went hand in hand, but were my favorite parts of RWBY, which were the final 2 episodes of the 3rd volume of RWBY. Personally, I'd probably say the best episode of RWBY was Heroes and Monsters. I think End of the Beginning was great as well, obviously, but I think Heroes and Monsters, for me, I just think the structure of that episode, probably my favorite episode of RWBY. But obviously, in general, the end of Season 3 has felt like, since Season 3, the height of RWBY to this point. And I do believe that here in the third episode of Volume 6, we have possibly eclipsed that. Now, I do think this is the best episode. I don't think that means this is going to be the best season, although it is trending in that direction. We are only 3 episodes in, and they have plenty of time for the writing of this season to fall off a little bit. But so far, first 3 episodes, I think the writing's been on point. The first episode was a great introduction to the season. Second episode, we got big shit going on right away. And then third episode, we get answers on so many things in this universe, things that have been questions literally since the first episode, and even before that, as we've been questioning the moon since before the first episode. It was in the trailers that we first realized that the moon was broken, and has been a question on fans' minds literally since, I want to say, I don't think the red trailer shows the moon broken. I know the white trailer does, so I'm going to say since the white trailer. It might have been in the red trailer, but I don't remember it in the red trailer. So if there was a broken moon in the red trailer, it was literally since the first RWBY thing ever, official RWBY thing ever released, that we've had these questions. But I know it was in the white trailer. I know it was in the yellow trailer. I don't think it was in the black. Oh no, it was in the black trailer, of course, because when Adam does the moon slice and they show the sliced moon at the shattered moon at the same time. But we answered questions as far back as literally the trailers, so pre-episode 1 questions, which is insane. Questions that have been lingering for what's probably going on 5 or 6 years now. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember exactly how old RWBY is as a series, but I believe 2012 sounds about right. Maybe 2013, but it's questions since the beginning, since the trailers and the first episode and all that stuff. We got so many answers. We kind of got a lot explained regarding the God of Light and Darkness as they were actually in this episode, which was insane. We got a lot of sauce about the origins of the world. Like I said, the shattered moon, why the world's called Remnant, the origin of Faunus, which was was shown in a very weird way, and it gives a lot of crazy implications. You could even go as far as saying that, mankind has ceased to exist, and that it could even be a matter, and I don't think this is the case, but I've been talking theory with people, and we've even talked about the possibility that because after the God of Light and Darkness left humanity, we were left with the Grimm, the animals, and Salem, and there's not a lot of animals in this world that we tend to notice. Now, I know they are there because we've talked about how the Grimm don't interact with wildlife, but it almost makes me wonder if Salem somehow using her magic turned the animals into people, and the Faunus are a result of that, as in the people that are kind of, I guess you could say, a little more closer to their original forms. Because that would add a whole new layer of meaning to the whole animals thing with Faunus, and it would also it would really be potato, because it would imply that they're all, it's funny because a lot of the Faunus rhetoric, especially in the soundtrack, is about how you treat us like animals and we're so much more than that. It would be ironic because not only would they literally be animals, but so would the humans that are subjugating them, which is just so, it's a twist on it, but it's so great. It goes back to the equality, but in the wrong way, which is just wonderful in so many ways. It's so fucked up and just great. There's a lot of other stuff to talk about here. Like, I really enjoyed what they did with Salem and Ozma, of course. I mean, obviously, really the only 2 characters that we're focused on, aside from the gods of light and darkness, respectively. Salem is incredible. I loved Salem in this episode. I loved Oz too, but I loved Salem more. They were like basic portrayals of characters that, were very simplified, and I like that because it still was a fairy tale type story. But Salem was a bitch, but she got way too harsh a penalty, and the gods are more at fault for what happened than Salem. Basically, Salem, she's determined, she lost the love of her life, and then she's like, hey, you guys can fix this. I love her determination there. I understand why she was rejected. Makes sense. God of Darkness says, I'll do it. And, she was being a little manipulative. And sure, I definitely think that, a lot of potatoes happened. I think she deserved punishment. I don't think she deserved the punishment she got. That was a bit harsh. And we'll get to the really harsh shit because later on, Salem tries to turn humanity against the gods, saying, hey, I got this immortality from them. I stole it from them is what she would say. And even though it was really the curse. And, you guys can kill the gods, take it. And after she tried to kill herself, did all that stuff. You guys saw the episode, of course. And what was really interesting in that second interaction between Salem and the gods, when she was interacting with both the god of darkness and the god of light at the same time, was that they attacked, and then the god of darkness was like, you know what, fuck this, and he literally just kills all of humanity, like, just fucking annihilates all of humanity. Not only for the actions of a few, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of people there, but in the scope of the entire world, a few people. Like I said, I'm going to refer to this world as Earth until this moment, and then it becomes Remnant. Now, I don't necessarily know, but I mean, come on, the moon is clearly the same moon as in, it clearly is a very similar moon to the moon we have on Earth, and the planet itself could definitely fly for a kind of alternate reality version of Earth, a la Adventure Time. So it was really interesting to see that, and obviously they decide to leave the Earth, and that's where the Earth becomes, remnant in a sense, as it becomes a remnant of what it was without them, just as the humans also become a fragment or a remnant of what they once were, as they no longer have magic. Magic exists solely in the 4 relics, in Salem, in Ozma, and in the Maidens. And where the Maidens fit into this timeline is really interesting, because at some point Ozma gave them their power, but it is possible, it is worth noting that Salem and Ozma later in the story have 4 daughters who are color-coded towards the Maidens, so it is possible that the Maidens, they were the original Maidens. It's possible that, and my thought process, it's possible they're the original Maidens, but then that would mean that he basically lied in the story. The 4 Maidens World of Remnant was just lies, and I don't think it was. So I'm assuming that he met 4 girls and he was reminded of his daughters, and that's why he gave them the power, because he saw what he thinks his daughters would have grown up to be had they survived what happened in this flashback. So it makes a lot of sense to me. I think that gives more of a justification for why he was so touched by these 4 girls, because they reminded him of his daughters who seemingly died in the fight between Ozma and Salem after they kind of had their divide. And Salem died, but she's immortal, so she immediately came back to life. And then Ozma was killed by Salem, and he reincarnated because, as I forgot to mention, but you guys again watch the episode, the whole scene between the God of Light and Ozma where he got his reincarnation, not so much a curse, but his sauce, which is really potato. And we also know that the point of the relics, obviously they are there to guide humanity with creation, destruction, knowledge, and choice. Creation being a spear of sorts, a scepter. I think it's supposed to be a spear. Destruction being a sword, of course, knowledge being the lamp that we already have, and choice being a crown that was probably at some point worn by the King of Vale or whatever, but choice definitely, at least choice, was in his possession, if not possibly possibly all of them, but, well, not all of them, but possibly a couple of them, because you can't have all of them together, so that makes sense. But, for reasons we'll explain. So the point of the relics, beyond guiding humanity, is when all 4 of them are brought together, it will summon the gods, and the gods will bring judgment upon Remnant, whether humanity or upon humanity. If humanity has learned to trust each other and live in harmony, then the gods will return to the world and be part of the world. If they are still like fucked up, then the gods will judge them accordingly by wiping humanity off the face of existence, which is amazing because it kind of tells me that the end game of this story is going to have a lot to do with the god of light and the god of darkness. It kind of implies to me that the final enemy of the series, or enemies in this case, is the god of light and the god of darkness, as opposed to Salem or even possibly Ozpin, which is really cool because this story didn't demonize Ozpin as much as I thought it might, and it didn't demonize Salem as much. Like, I felt like it would demonize Ozpin in a way where he was responsible for just how fucked up Salem gets. But in reality, not only did Salem not get quite as fucked up as I was expecting, but Ozpin wasn't nearly as fucked up as I was expecting. So it actually kind of, not only is there sympathy for both characters here, Salem and Oz, but they didn't really paint I personally don't feel like they painted a villain in this story, whether it be the gods or Salem or Ozma, but I feel like out of the four, the gods were the ones most responsible for the shit. The gods overreacted. The gods don't understand humanity because they aren't humanity. They aren't human. And I think that narrative is going to go to the fact that humanity is going to grow and evolve. And I think Cinder and Ruby are going to have a lot to do with that, being kind of are going to be able to see, because Salem and Oz understand a lot about humanity, but they've kind of lost parts of themselves, and they need those two parts to combine. And I think that's where Cinder and Ruby come in the long term of the story, especially since we're doing this the Zuko Cinder arc with Cinder, the Zuko-esque arc with Cinder. I think the long term play here is that Cinder and Ruby are going to become representations of light and darkness, or Cinder obviously darkness and Ruby light, but they're going to find balance, and they're going to, I think somehow, some way, they're going to end up on the same side come the end of this, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more there. I mean, you could theorize that because, as many people have in the past, 4 maidens, 4 members of Team RWBY, only girls, you can kind of make that assumption that the 4 members of Team RWBY will eventually become the maidens and, win the day at the end of the series. Especially since Ruby already has the silver eyes. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. But, I think there's a lot of really interesting sauce to be had there. And there's a lot of interesting ways this can go. But we got so many answers in this episode that it really just kind of blows my mind. And I don't even know what to really say about it. Like, there's so much I can talk about that I want to talk about. But this episode, not only was it 6 minutes, it was so long. It was one of the longest episodes of the series. I think the longest episode since probably the season 4 finale, and then other than the finale of season 4, since the season 3 finale. So one of probably the top 5 longest episodes of RWBY in the entire series. I honestly think it was number 3. I think season 3's finale is the longest episode of RWBY. Season 4's finale, the second longest episode of RWBY. I know this episode is longer than the season 5 finale, so I believe this is the 3rd longest episode of RWBY, and I understand why they took so much time, despite this only being the 3rd chapter of the 6th volume, because this was a monumental moment in the series. It answered so many questions, and is just one of the greatest episodes of the series, in my opinion, my personal favorite episode, in my opinion, the best episode of RWBY so far. It really didn't involve Team RWBY at all, which I thought was great. Like, the main characters didn't even say anything, which was wonderful. This story, they really contained it to Ozma and Salem, which is how it should have been. And now everyone's seen this. Crow, Team RWBY, Oscar, and I believe Maria. They never showed a shot of Maria seeing it, but I assume Maria saw it along with Crow, Oscar, and Team RWBY. I think this will actually help Oscar and Ozpin's relationship a lot, but it'll be really interesting to see how everyone reacts to this. But I think the reaction isn't going to be as negative as it could have been because, the story wasn't as, I think, incriminating to Ozpin as you might have thought, as we kind of thought it would be. I think it's just more just really sad and tragic for both Salem and Oz, and that's pretty potato. It definitely humanizes Salem, but I don't think it demonized Oz. If anything, it demonized the gods, if it demonized anyone. So that's really interesting. It does give me the idea that the gods are probably have a lot to do with the endgame of the series. The relics. I mean, obviously, we're trying to keep the 4 relics from uniting so the gods don't return because Oz doesn't see humanity as ready, which makes a lot of sense. And he's saying, like, slowly but surely we're going to, humanity will eventually get there. What I think would be really interesting is that if by the time we get the relics, humanity truly is there in its own way, but the gods don't see it that way, And then, like I said, Cinder and RWBY working together would be the perfect example of how far humanity has come, given everything that's happened between them already in the series with, Cinder obviously killing Pyrrha right in front of her, being responsible for Penny's death, all that shit. And then RWBY taking her eye, part of her body, basically, with everything they've gone through and how much they dislike each other. If they manage to end up being on the same team, that would be a perfect symbolism of not only Salem and Ozma's legacy, but also the fact that humanity is so much more than even the gods realize. And not only that, but defying the gods at that point, and I guess possibly killing them, or at least opening their eyes to the truth. But I have trouble imagining that, given what we saw the Guard of Darkness just fucking kill everyone in like a few seconds. That was pretty stupid. So I can't imagine them fighting them, but that just seemed like where the end game of the series is going to have a lot to do with the gods, as opposed to Salem and Oz. Although Salem and Oz, will probably have a lot to do with it as well. Salem also, at the very least, Oz has no way of killing Salem. That doesn't mean no one can, but we also got that. So much sauce. Just an incredible episode. I really could go on forever about this one, and I don't even know if I want to stop this video right now because, like I said, there is so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about that I watched this on Monday, and I'm recording this section of the video on Thursday because I have so much to talk about and discuss. Also, this will be the last reaction for quite a while. I'll probably make an update video that goes up either Friday, so either before this video or Sunday after this video. I'm going to record it right after I'm done with this, basically saying that I'm going to be on a trip for the next week plus, and that I should have new equipment by the time I'm back. So hopefully the next video I do, new mic, new camera, all that shit. So we'll have new equipment, which should be really cool, and hopefully that'll be we'll have to do that. I'll probably have to completely rework how I do my setup for videos and stuff, but it should be really cool. So anyways, one of the best episodes of RWBY. Honestly, this is an iconic episode for me, for anime in general, for animation. Like, this is something that I'm probably always going to remember, but certainly for RWBY, it was its best episode. I think that goes without saying. There's a lot of episodes in the series, it kind of reminds me a little bit of that one episode of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I want to say episode either 39 or 40 or 41. I think it's 40. It might be 39, though. You guys know what episode I'm talking about. I'm not going to even mention anything more of it. I think I actually remember in regards to their Chapter 2 reaction, I think Semblance of Sanity brought that up, and it was a good point, and that's where they thought it would kind of feel like, and it did feel like that, but so much more. It was just one of the most insane things I've watched in a long time on this channel, this episode. And RWBY, as much as I love this show, RWBY's not had an episode like that ever. I mean, I've never been so speechless watching RWBY before. And as you guys know, I'm very rarely speechless, so this episode obviously just blew my mind. And I'm trying to make up for the fact that I barely said anything in my reaction by, just giving you guys a lengthy review and discussion, but I feel like I could honestly just be here all day, so I'm probably going to cut it off. There's so much stuff I didn't talk about because it was such a long episode. There was so much content. It was all about the story of Salem and Oz, and it was incredible. I cannot wait to see where this goes. Like I said, the next time you guys will get a reaction of mine for RWBY, it will likely be chapters 4 and 5 together because I'm leaving on Saturday. So I'm not going to have a chance to record chapter 4. So this will be my last reaction until I come back, which I should come back. My first video will probably be the Tuesday, unless I want to make an update video that Monday. I probably will make another update video if I got my new equipment at that point. But what is that? I can't even remember what today is. But the Monday after Thanksgiving, that Monday, I'll probably make an update video. It's like the last Monday of November. I'll probably make an update video saying I'm back, saying I got my new stuff, and then we're gonna grind because we have a few things. We're really close to starting Hunter x Hunter, and then we just have one more pass and we'll be done with My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan. So we have lots of stuff, and Fairy Tail Zero. We just got so much going on, but yeah, this will be the last reaction until then, so sorry about that. But, new equipment, that's just one more motivation. Spending money that I barely have for this channel is just one more motivation to start getting into doing more videos and getting more stuff out for you guys. But I will also say, potatoes. Anyways, Flame and Shark signing out. Hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastical day. I'll see you next time with another video. Thanks for watching. Peace.